Good morning, all. It's me. This morning I am making some chocolate chip cookies. Again, this recipe is from Renee from Little Village Homestead. It's a big batch cookies. I'm actually doing a double cookie. It's early in the morning, like probably 3:30 a.m. But I wanted to get this started for you guys because I've got a lot to do today again. So I am doubling this recipe. I will have the original recipe in the description box. So first we are going to start out, it calls for 3/4 cup of butter. I am going to use 1.5 cups because I'm doubling. So anything you hear me say with this, remember that I am doubling the recipe. My butter is softened. I always keep my butter that I'm baking with at like room temperature. When I know I'm baking, I always set it out, usually a day ahead of time. So let's get our butter in there. I'm going to cream together my butter and eggs as I do this, just so it's, kind of creamy before I start adding other ingredients. Okay, so there's my 1.5 cups of butter. Now I need to go ahead and put my eggs in. It calls for, the original recipe is 2 eggs. I am putting in 4 eggs. Again, because I am doubling the recipe. Also, my eggs are at room temperature. I've had them setting out since last night. They say you should bake with room temperature eggs. I don't know how true that is because sometimes I just use it right out of the fridge. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and mix this stuff together, the eggs and butter. This could get a little messy, so I always start it off kind of slow. And then I will increase the speed as I go, just so I don't have a super big mess in my kitchen. Of course, I told you I am a messy baker, so there you go. So I'm creaming together the eggs and the butter. Looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and start adding my sugar. So it calls for 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to put 1.5 cups. And you do want it packed. So there's 3/4 cup. There's my 1.5 cups. Set this aside. I'm also making my son some sweet tea while we're doing this. So I've got a little bit of a mess. It also calls for 1/2 cup of sugar. So I am going to put a whole cup. And then as I do this, that's 1/2. And that's a whole. Now that's out of the way. We'll go ahead and cream this together as we go. Again, start out kind of slow and just let it cream together. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and add, it calls for a teaspoon of vanilla. Give me 1 second. So I am putting 2 teaspoons in. There's 1, 2. This is everything but my flour, baking powder, and salt, and of course the chocolate chips. So I'm going to let this go for a little bit just to get it creamed together really, really good. See how the butter is still, there's still like splats of butter in there. So I just want to make sure it's creamed really, really good. So far, it looks amazing. And I do the jumbo cookies. And while I've got this going on, I have got my oven preheating at 350. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me get my flour, baking powder, and salt. So it calls for 2.5 cups of flour, so I'm going to put 5 cups in. And again, I just kind of fluff my flour. I don't even it off. Some people even it off. 3, 4. You know what? I'm going to start mixing this really slow because I know I'm going to have a mess. And then there's 5. Okay, there's my flour. Now for the salt. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I am going in with just do it this way. Add your salt in. I'm going to add a little bit more because my last cookies I think needed just a little bit more salt. And then a teaspoon of baking powder. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm going to do it. No, it calls for 1 teaspoon, so I'm going to put 2 teaspoons. This is a 4th, so I'm putting 4 of these in. Actually, more than that, because that right here is 1 teaspoon, and I need 2 teaspoons. Right? Yes. So I put 4 more of these in, and we should call it good. There's my baking powder. I've got my salt, baking powder, flour, vanilla, eggs, sugar, butter, brown sugar. All that's left to add in here is my chocolate chips. I'm going to speed it up a little bit to cream it some more. And I am also going to use my spatula just to scrape down the sides to make sure I got all of it mixed in really well. So far they look amazing. I love making cookies. I love baking. Nothing better than getting up early and baking a batch, and then you smell all that goodness in the morning. It makes your house smell amazing. I'm going to scrape this side down just a little bit more, just to make sure it's all good and mixed. Okay. This is pretty simple and easy. It's an amazing recipe. And when you make the jumbo cookies, it's really, really delicious because they're really soft and chewy. We get this mixed in, and then we're going to add the chocolate chips. Okay, next is our chocolate chips. I've got some open, but it calls for like 2 cups. This was a jumbo bag. There's probably like 2 cups left in that bag. And then I use semi-sweet chocolate chips. Then I got this bag. It's probably equal to 2 cups. All right, now we mix this together, and I'm gonna start off slow so our chocolate chips don't go everywhere. And you want to mix this really, really good. That way, when you go to do the batter, I use a large ice cream scoop, but you just want to make sure this is mixed in really well. Again, I'm going to scrape down the sides once, really good. That way it's all mixed in. And then I will come back and show you my ice cream scoop that I use, plus what the cookies look like when they're done. And they are, again, amazing. All right, there you go, folks. Can you see? I know I got a shadow on my, on my cookie mix, but there you go. And I will be back here shortly as I'm panning them up. All right, guys, I am now batching them up. I am making the big cookies. So I have got a big ice cream scoop. A lot of times people use the smaller ice cream scoop. I just want to show you the difference. This is usually what they make little cookies out of. If you want a jumbo cookie, you want the bigger one. So all I do is I scoop off a layer. Like I said, you want room for these to spread out, but I use the ice cream scoop because they make, you know, more of a perfect cookie. And I don't pat them down or anything. So I think I can get 3 across here, because this is my bigger cookie sheet. And I will put these in 12 to 15 minutes at a time. So I check them just to make sure that they are done. Like I like mine a little soft, so mine, I don't get them hard. I'm only going to be able to fit maybe 12 cookies on this sheet. I need a new ice cream scooper because this one does not want to release the cookie. And I'll continue doing this, and I'll bring you back so you can see the finished product. Again, you want to bake these on 350 for about, if you're doing the jumbo cookies, 12 to 15 minutes. If not, you are going to do 8 to 10 minutes if you're using the littler scoop. You don't want to overcook your cookies, for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to continue to do this, and I'll be right back. And here it is. Here's the finished product. Really nice, soft, chewy chocolate chip cookies. If you like this video, like, subscribe, drop me a comment in the comment section.